We're a community-based organization right here in Manhattan, Chinatown, working at the intersection of storytelling, arts, and neighborhood engagement. And we're so happy to be presenting the 5th Chinatown Arts Festival. Lots of old friends here tonight. So the festival for us is a time for us to highlight our work, bringing together the generation of artists in the context of and in our cultural home of Chinatown. Tonight, alongside the performance of the Eastern Fuzhou Opera, we are proud to present the artwork of Cerula Bao, who you'll see behind me as the artwork drop. Yeah, there she is back there. And we'll also be joined by the poet and drag performer Wu Chan, or the illustrious Pearl. So over the years, we've really gotten to know the Eastern Fuzhou Opera Group. We got to hang out in their clubhouse and watch them rehearse, share many meals with them, even as often as last night, preparing for this show. And they've also been a part of the Think China storytelling projects as well. You probably can't recognize her tonight, but you'll see Yuhua, who is one of the stars of the shopping in Chinatown Fuzhou style, where she introduced to us many amazing snacks that she loves. So you guys all know that there are a lot of Cantonese opera groups here in Chinatown, but not very many Min opera groups. I think they're the only one. And so it's really important to give them the stage and the infrastructure to help them perform. And so we're so proud to do that tonight. So I really want to say, what I really want to say to the Eastern Fuzhou Opera Group is, for those of you who don't know them, they are a strong and proud group of artists and friends, and they've been around since 1981. They've been forging a space for their craft and for camaraderie within the Fuzhou immigrant community, and their tenacity to continue with their art despite so many obstacles is truly inspiring. And for us as the next generation of cultural organizers here in Chinatown, it is truly inspiring. So I want to tell you a little bit about Min Opera. Who here has seen Min Opera before? 谁看过名剧？举手。哦，有一些。Okay, 所以我们的朋友不知道名剧的。So for our friends who haven't seen Min Opera before, Min Opera refers to, the word Min refers to Fujian province. That's where my family's from. Over the art form, this art form has been around for about 400 years. It's spread across Southeast Asia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, just as the Fujianese people, who are coastal peoples. We eat a lot of seafood, I think you've heard. And so through that migration, the art form has grown and spread. So tonight, for the first act, we have for you Gan Guo Bao, which is a very popular Fujianese tale. And I'm just gonna give you the rundown. So we're not performing the whole thing, we're performing a specific part. So I'm gonna tell you where in the story we are at. So Gan Guo Bao is a real person, but the fictionalized character is actually quite different. They're variations, but roughly this is the story. Gan Guo Bao was a naughty and mischievous child, and he lived in his grandmother's house. And he grew up, but he was kind of addicted to gambling and was up to no good. He became an apprentice cobbler to learn shoemaking, but he ended up stealing, and that wasn't great. And he gambled away that money. So then he asked his older cousin, Wang Lianlian, to borrow some money. And Wang Lianlian was like, no, that's not gonna do that. You're up to no good. And was kind of mean about it though. So she even forbid her husband, who was very wealthy, from giving any money to Gan Guo Bao. So then Gan Guo Bao had no choice but to join the army and go to Taiwan, where then he became a war hero. So he came back to Fuzhou, so he does all these adventures, and he comes back to Fuzhou because he heard his dear beloved grandmother had passed away. And he finds out that his grandmother died because his cousin, Wang Lianlian, upset the grandma so much. And so the reason was that Wang Lianlian accused the grandmother of playing favorites, thought that Gang Guo Bao was the grandma's favorite and didn't get enough love. And so Gang Guo Bao, is upset because, he was the grandma's favorite, and asks Wang Lianlian, this is the part where we come into the scene, where Wang Lianlian and Gang Guo Bao kind of quarrel. So you hear a lot of sarcasm and a lot of kind of play of words in this scene. So they argue about, family stuff, and, on purpose, even though he has already kind of become, he's already become a war hero, and he's no longer, in debt, he dresses as a pauper just to test his cousin to see what the reaction would be. So no, you can't tell. They're going to come out in their costumes, and the costumes are going to look really great, but it's actually a pauper costume because it's not like as fancy as an emperor's costume. So just be on the lookout for that. And so they argue. You'll hear that scene, and basically, spoiler alert, later on, the cousin's family gets in trouble. Her husband gets in trouble, and ends up needing Gang Guo Bao's help in the end. And for the love and the memory of his grandmother, he does, and everyone is happy again. So that is the story. So just look out for that within the scenes. We'll have some lyrics here translated for everybody, so you can follow along on the scenes. Thanks to Alice and Meg for doing all that work. And tonight, to play Gang Guo Bao, we have He Feng, and Wang Lianlian is played by Lian Yuhua. So here we go, everybody. Gang Guo Bao.